Oi oi, hello and welcome to another Cheltenham Festival Trends video. This time I'm taking you through day 2 trends. Now, you can go back and watch day 1's trends if you're interested in that. Days 3 and days 4 will be coming out over the next couple of weeks. In that same period too, the individual cheat sheets for each day will come out as they have done for the last couple of years. They've been very informative in helping find winners, especially in the handicaps. But I have this year done it for every single race too. So while in this video, I will just be talking about the top highlighted trends, there will be a link in the description for all the articles for every race for day 2, where I go into a little bit more depth. So I might talk about ages in here, weight, like last time out records, price, things like that as well. But in the articles, I've sort of done each category in its own depth. And I've also looked at potential like methods to back these I guess like systems blind. So when I talk about weights and official ratings, it may be that it is possible to back a certain band blind. It's been profitable this century. Doesn't necessarily mean you'll get the winner every single year, but it does mean that it is a pattern that has stood the test of time. So as I say, they are in the links in the description for this video. I'm going to rattle through this as quickly as I can. Underneath my face will be the top line trends that I'm talking about, and we will just crack on. Before we do so, big thank you to Bull Sports for sponsoring this video. Please do make sure you're liking the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop a comment if you're as excited as I am about the Cheltenham Festival. Now, day 2, race 1 is the Turners Novices Hurdle, of course formerly known as the Ballymore, been known as the Bar in Bingham, the Neptune. It's been lots of different names in the past, but most winners of this race are likely to be a 6-year-old. You need to respect any favourites priced 6 to 4 or shorter. They have a 50% return on investment from the last 7 run-ins. So if we do get a short price favourite in here, they do need to be respected. Preferably has no more than 3 runs over hurdles and at least 2 wins. Should have already won at least a grade 2 before now. Will hold an official rating of 150 or higher. Should have won last time out. And probably has not already run at Cheltenham, but if they have, they should have won there. So that's the trends for the Turners. It's going to help whittle down the field to a certain extent. I've gone into detail about the fact of the Challow hurdle runners, even the races that have been won in Ireland and what they mean for horses going into here. So again, you can click the links in the description to get a bit more detail in there, which might help more than just these top line trends. But that's the purpose of this video. Top line trends, right. Brown Advisory Novices Chase, again, another one that's been called all sorts of names, isn't it? Most likely to be aged 7 years old to win this race. No winning second favourite since 2012, and then it was 2000 before that as well. So fairly niche, that type of, I guess, trend that I'm putting up in here, but it does seem to have stood the test of time. Respect runners priced 4 to 1 or shorter. They are profitable to back blind. Top rated runners who are sent off favourite have overachieved in the last decade. So what we mean by that is there's been top rated runners in this race that have been sent off as favourite, and far more of them have won than in theory the market would suggest. So if you had 2 even money shots, you would expect one of those to win. The way these have performed, they've been above expectations. They will have finished in the top 2 last time out, will have already raced at Cheltenham, and will have already run and won over 23 to 25 furlongs. So with the fact that the Turners Novices Chase is now not here, the middle distance one, there is a chance there'll be horses stepping up in trip to come for this event. You would suggest that horses would have already run and won at about the 3-mile trip, somewhere between 23 and 25 furlongs. So nothing too outlandish in there. Coral Cup trends. So we do like the handicaps. Likely to be aged 7 or 8 years old. Ideally rated between 137 and 144 and carrying 11 stone 2 or more. So again, that's the type of thing that will change year in, year out, depending on where the top rated runners are. But there are bands that seem to be frequent in these races, and it is a figure that is profitable to back blind. So again, you can read more detail in that. You want to give credit to runners who last ran 59 to 90 days ago. That would be a longer layoff than is typical for most horses going into a Cheltenham Festival race. Has no more than just 1 win this season. That seems to be a very prominent feature for winners of this race. Preferably has 2 to 4 wins over hurdles, but doesn't have more than 5. We have had horses like Langadan coming back to win this in the past, but with horses like him not here this time round, it will fall back into that profile for sure. Has 9 or fewer runs over hurdles, but not the last 3 winners. So again, I talk about Langadan there. We have had horses that have run in the race before that have done well since. The last few winners have had more than 9 runs over hurdles, but typically this race is won by a horse with 9 or fewer runs over hurdles. Does not wear headgear is an important factor in here, unless it's the very first time they're wearing that headgear or that headgear combination. Again, within the links in the articles, there is details for headgear for the handicaps too. Cross country I haven't done because it's changed to a handicap. I know I'm scratching there just a little bit of an itch. It's like that is one that I will be doing. I haven't done it at the moment, so it'll be to be confirmed in the links below. So we will leave it for now. Champion trace we can crack straight on with though. Age has no major bias in this race, but preference would be for 7 and 9-year-olds. Most winners come from the front 2 in the market. Should be rated 165 or higher, but preferably 170 or higher. The reason I put that in there is year in, year out, you just may not get the same standard of horses, but you want a horse to be really highly rated in here. Winning last time out isn't essential, but they will have run 31 to 60 days ago. So it's not essential they won last time out, but it is essential that they ran 31 to 60 days ago. Should have run here and should have won here too. So that by here, I mean at Cheltenham. Will have 5 or more wins over fences and preferably already a multiple grade 1 winner. So it is top class comes to the fore, as you would expect in a champion chase, a championship race. A mega feature this is. Now, there will be more details within there. You'll all probably know off the top of your heads that plenty of upsets have happened in this race, in the fact that lots of favourites have been turned over and sort of not performed very well. So again, link in the description, you can go and get a bit more depth for that. Moving on to the Grand Annual. It's been moved from the Friday to the Wednesday, but I don't think it's had too much of an influence on the fact that the track's changed in what happens in here. So we've looked at the measures back from the start of the century and in the last decade. They're likely to be aged between 7 and 9 years old. More than likely to be priced 14 to 1 or bigger. So with those ones, especially when they're price related, I would always say take them with a pinch of salt. You'd think, why have I said that as a top line trend then? I just mean that we've had lots of winners that have ticked this box and it is profitable to do it, but it doesn't mean that it is right off every single horse that's priced under 14 to 1, because each year a different horse with a different profile comes into the race, but it is more than likely to be priced 14 to 1 or bigger is the statistical trend for this race. Has an official rating between 136 and 147. That is a big old window. Carries between 10 stone 10 and 11 stone 8. Again, that is a real big window, but I talk about the weight and the official rating in the articles where we talk about whether it's profitable to back blind or whether it might just find you the most number of winners and you need to pair that metric with something else. You want to respect runners coming in here off layoffs of 90 days or more. So again, with the Coral Cup, I talked about being off for a longer period of time. We talked about in the Champion Chase, 31 days to 60 days. This is the type of race, a Grand Annual. Horses that have had big layoffs, 90 days or more, should be respected. The horse really should have won between 1 and 3 wins over fences, but definitely not more than 5. Should have already run at Cheltenham, and a bonus point if they already ran in the Grand Annual. Either has not won this season or has just 1 win, and probably did not win last time out. So that's the Grand Annual done. Champion bumper, a small handful of like figures and trends, I guess, that would come in here, but they are important. I talk about Willie Mullins in the article as well. So again, click the link in the description for those of you who want. Key trends though, the top line level would be second favourites outperform favourites, but respect runners priced 13 to 8 to 9 to 4. So within that, they're not explicitly always going to be a favourite at 13 to 8, 9 to 4, but you'd struggle to find a year recently where there's been 2 real short ones. But the second favourites have outperformed favourites. So if you've got a favourite, say 4 to 1 or bigger, again, I'll do the figures in here, then they would have less confidence in them than you would a short-priced one. Of course, that sounds like it's very obvious to say, but second favourites have outperformed them. So those second favourites would have had, in theory, less chance than the favourites, but they've actually done quite well. They will have won last time out. They won't have run at Cheltenham, but if they have, they should have won there. Look to runners with a season debut RPR of 110 or higher. So that would have been their first run this season. Look to runners with a peak season RPR of 126 or higher. So that's the bigger number. And you can just back Willies in the bumper blind and show a profit. But as I say, in the article, I talk a little bit more about it. Obviously, with Patrick riding, the strike rate could be a lot better. You'd think it would be. Or maybe it just is if you read the article. Anyway, these are the 10-minute trends for day 2. Thanks so much for your guys' support. There's lots of good content coming out. So again, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and we will see you again very soon.